Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes.
Madeira, Manchester, Madrid, Turin, and Manchester again, wreathed in red. Restored to this great gallery of the game, a walking work of art. Vintage, beyond valuation, beyond forgery or imitation. 18 years since that trembling teenager of touch and tease first tiptoed onto this storied stage. Now in his immaculate maturity, CR7 reunited.
It's more than just goals and trophies, you know.
Yeah.
It's that ambition. Like, where does it come from?
It's like he's almost haunted by it, even with all he's won. Especially with Messi finally winning the World Cup, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't talk Ronaldo without talking Messi. It's like that rivalry kind of overshadows everything.
It's the defining face-off of their generation, really.
Cristiano Ronaldo. The chaotic pursuit of glory amidst Messi's dominance.
Oh, juicy title. Gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? That tension between those two.
It's about ambition, ego, what it takes to be the duet, all of that.
I think what I find so fascinating about Ronaldo is you see the wins, but you also see this drive that seems to eat at him.
Okay, so picture this, like early 2000s, right? Ronaldo's this scrawny kid from Madeira, starts out in these small local clubs.
Which, let's be real, for most people, that's where the journey ends. But not Ronaldo.
Exactly. Next thing you know, he's at Sporting Lisbon, one of the biggest clubs in Portugal. And then, boom, Manchester United in 2003. 18 years old?
18. I mean, that's insane. Most of us are barely figuring out what to eat for breakfast at that age, and he's already playing top-level professional football.
It's like he willed himself to greatness.
Yeah.
And part of that, I think, is this crazy self-belief. There's this quote from him back then. He says, "I am the best player in the world. It's a fact."
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes.
And that's not just him being cocky, though it definitely comes off that way sometimes. It's this deeply ingrained belief that he's destined for greatness.
Right. But the article doesn't shy away from the downsides of that kind of mindset, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's great to have confidence, but at what point does it become...
An ego the size of a planet.
Exactly. And this is where his time at Real Madrid gets really interesting.
Because that's when the Messi rivalry really explodes. It becomes this whole other beast.
Every goal, every award, every little bit of praise Messi gets just fuels Ronaldo even more.
It's like this endless loop of one-upmanship. And honestly, it brings out the best and the worst in both of them.
Totally. You see Ronaldo pushing himself to be better, scoring these insane goals, breaking records left and right.
But then you also see these moments where, let's just say, his sportsmanship leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, like there's this one incident during a Champions League match where he's visibly frustrated with his teammates, like yelling at them on the pitch, throwing his hands up in the air. Not a good look.
It's like he can't stand the thought of not being perfect, not being the best.
And then there's this quote, "I'm different to Messi. I'm more of a leader." But
So are you better than him now this season?
Some people say I'm better, the other people say it's him. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're going to decide who is the best player in the moment, which is, I think, it's me.
his actions don't always back that up.
Yeah, it's almost like he wants to be seen as this humble leader, but struggles with actually being one, you know?
And then you've got the whole World Cup saga.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, is a whole other layer of complicated for Ronaldo.
It becomes this obsession almost, this thing he needs to win to prove himself once and for all.
And when Portugal gets knocked out in 2018, Borman, the article describes this moment where he stormed on this one trophy. And speaking of pressure cookers, can we talk about that Piers Morgan interview from 2022?
Oh boy, here we go. That was a whole other level of chaotic.
The internet basically exploded when that came out.
Well, he did go off on Manchester United, called out his manager, Eric Ten Hag. It was a PR nightmare.
They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
Trying to control the narrative, right? But it just backfires spectacularly.
And then there's that line, and it's just so telling. They need to learn from me. Like, come on.
It's that arrogance mixed with this weird insecurity that makes him so fascinating, right?
Yeah, and it all comes crashing down when Messi wins the World Cup in 2022. I mean, talk about a turning point.
So Messi wins the World Cup. You've got Ronaldo. Like, what does he even do now? His whole thing, this whole rivalry.
It's like the rug's been pulled out from under him, right? After all that, after years of chasing the same glory.
You'd almost expect him to just, like, retire, right? Right off into the sunset, count his millions. But that's not Ronaldo.
Not a chance. This guy's wired differently. He's not done proving everyone wrong yet.
And that's when he signs with Saudi Arabia. Can we talk about this?
A move that, well, let's just say it sparked a few debates, right?
That's one way to put it.
Darn.
Some people were like, okay, cashing in, fair enough. But others saw it as like him giving up on the top leagues.
Which, to be fair, it kind of is, isn't it? Moving to a weaker league at that point in his career. But then you hear Ronaldo talk about it, and he's like, my mission in Europe is complete.
In Europe, my work, it's done. I won everything. I played the most important clubs in Europe. And for me now, it's a new challenge.
So, like, what's the mission now? Winning in a league that, let's be real, isn't exactly known for its nail-biting finishes.
See, that's the thing about Ronaldo. He's always playing this different game, you know? Like, he's got something to prove, even when it seems like he's already proven it all.
And that article kind of touches on this, right? It's like, even after moving to Saudi Arabia, he's still talking about playing at the highest level, even hinting at another World Cup run.
Which, come on, let's be real, that's a long shot at this point.
Because we won 2016, and now we want to win the World Cup. It's possible, yes, it's possible. Everything is possible. But you have to be realistic as well.
But again, it goes back to that refusal to let go of the dream.
Even when the dream has, maybe gotten a little unrealistic.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the article really hits on something. There's this tragic element to his story,
Oh, absolutely. It's like you want to root for him, but at the same time, you're kind of watching a car crash in slow motion.
Makes you think, like when you're talking about legacy, is it really just about winning?
That's the Ronaldo paradox, isn't it? The guy's won everything there is to win multiple times, but it's still never enough.
Don't care. If the Portugal be in a final and score, even the goalkeeper, I will be the most happy man in the world. But if this happens, come on. I will say I will finish football if this happens.